devices. Basically, the one which has a negative resistance property, preferably the diodes, which we can use it for the high power, high voltage kind of a circuits for microwave frequency applications. Okay, so we have already come across certain parameters and certain mode of operation or certain types of diodes, which are impact diode, its characteristics, trapette diode, its characteristics, and so on. Okay, so we will be continuing the same with the next type of device, which is nothing but gun diode. Okay, so this is gun diode. So the first components are the transit time device, which we are continuing it in the today's class. So gun diode is basically also called as transferred electron device, or the diode, which can be symbolically represented as two diodes connected back to back. Fine. So the symbolically it is represented as two diodes which are connected back to back, but it doesn't mean that it is a bidirectional device. Uh, and it works on the principle of gun effect. Uh, it was actually discovered by the scientist by the name J.B. Gunn in 1962. Okay, and he was and this is a device which offers the negative resistance characteristics, which is used for microwave applications like oscillators, radar generators, and so on. Okay, it is made up of gallium arsenide, uh, indium phosphide, germanium, cadmium, tin. Okay, so zinc, arsenide, and there have been other type of materials used to construct this gun diode. Well, the first and foremost important point to note that this gun diode is basically made up of only one type of materials. Okay, it is made up of only one type of materials, and preferably that to n type of material, because of available of free electrons, and the mobility of electrons is greater than that of holes. Okay, so that is the reason why we go for only n type of material, but it is made up of the entire layer is fabricated with a single type of material, which is n type in this, but you can see that it is of different level of concentration. Okay, so basically it consists of three layers. You can see here, the top one is highly doped n plus layer of gallium arsenide. The middle one is lightly doped n layer, and the extreme end is highly doped n plus layer of gallium arsenide. Okay, so it is the n plus layer, both which are at the extreme end, which acts as anode and cathode. Okay, and that the cathode and anode, it will have a metal contact for external, and at the cathode you have an heat sink for this device. Fine. So here it is necessary to use only n type of material, because the transferred electron effect is only applicable to electrons and not holes, which is in p type materials. Okay, so you can see that within this device there are three main areas. The most common method of manufacturing is to grow up an epitaxial layer on the degenerate n plus substrate. The active region is between, this is the active region, you see here, this is the active region, the middle one. Okay, whereas n plus and n plus are the one which are connected at the extreme end for metal contact and for the circuit completion, whereas the active layer is this. So this n plus and this n plus is only for the ohmic contact on substrate, uh, aluminum contact for ohmic contact basically. Okay, and the upper anode plate is actually made up of gold plated molybdenum ring flanked. Okay, it is actually gold plated. The symbol of gold is AU actually. Okay, and at the lower plate is actually molybdenum oxide. And as I'm mentioning once again, it is only this is the one active layer which is of the effective length this much. And you know the meaning of n plus, the difference in concentration per cubic meter. Hmm? And again the another point is the thickness may vary according to the frequency required. Fine. Devices are normally mounted on the conducting base to which a wire connection is made. The base also acts as an heat sink. The base also acts as an heat sink, which is critical for the removal of heat. The connection to the other terminal of the diode is made via gold connection deposit on the top of surface. This one what I'm telling. Okay, the gold is required because it is relatively stable and has a high conductivity. That is why at the anode terminal it is constructed by gold plating. Fine. So this is about the construction of the gun diode with the different layers. So now coming to the characteristics. This characteristics you can see here, it is the characteristics of forward voltage and the forward current. So at higher voltage, the electrons in the lower value of the conduction band moves into the higher value, where their mobility decreases due to an increase in their effective mass. Understood? The reduction in mobility decreases the conductivity, which leads to the decrease in the current flowing through the diode. Right? So what I'm telling here is, so when you are increasing the voltage, forward voltage, so when I'm increasing the forward voltage, the electric field, okay, the electric field or the mobility drift from cathode to anode, the mobility of electrons from cathode to anode is high, and the current flows from anode to cathode. Okay, and the current increases up to certain point, which is called as threshold point or the threshold voltage. So after this threshold voltage, what happens for the further increase in this electric field or the voltage, the mobility decreases. Okay, mobility decreases, whereas at this point the mobility is large. You can see this is the tunneling current. Okay, the mobility is actually defined by the rate of change of drift velocity with respect to electric field. Okay, and this current is due to the mobility of the electrons tunneling. Because of increasing in the field, what happens, the number of electrons getting in high electric field increases, and the mobility is given by the rate of change of drift velocity with respect to electric field. Understood this point? So after this what happens, this is not minus, it is plus dV by dE, but after this point, this threshold voltage, what I'm telling, what you can see here, it is minus dV by dE. Okay, so that is after this threshold point or the peak current, the point where you get a peak current is nothing but the threshold voltage or the field. Okay, so after this what happens, the mobility decreases and the drift velocity increases, dV, d by dE. Okay, drift velocity increases up to this point, valley point, and this range where you get an reducing in the mobility or increasing in the drift velocity. Okay, so you see this is mu, actually mu is equal to dV by dt. At this point the mobility decreases whereas drift velocity is increasing from peak point to valley point. At this point, it offers a negative resistance, which is useful for fast switching or high frequency operations. Okay, and again after this valley point, what happens? It acts like a normal diode. Okay, this is nothing but the forward characteristics of the diode, conventional diode current characteristics, where you set certain operating points. Okay, and then you make it work as a diode. But this is the point of interest where it offers the negative resistance at point which the mobility is reduced and the drift velocity is increased, and because of this reason you can use it for the high frequency applications. Okay, and you can also know that it has a less recovery time, which is helpful for faster switching of high frequency applications. So other than this, the some of the advantage of this gun diode are it has a advantages are high bandwidth. It has a very high bandwidth. It is highly reliable, okay, and it has a low manufacturing cost. Okay, and it is operating voltage is low. Operating voltage is low. These are some of the advantages. So disadvantages are it has low efficiency, below 10 gigahertz. Understood? You see, that's why it is always operated at a very high frequency range. Right? And it has poor stability. Poor stability means its frequency may varies with respect to bias or temperature. Okay, and it has small tuning range. Right? So these are some of the properties or advantages of the gun diode. Okay, so any doubt related to this gun diode? The symbol, construction, working principle with respect to the characteristics, with advantage and disadvantage of the same. Okay, if you have no doubt, we will just move on to the next device, which is nothing but tunnel diode. Any doubt up till here? So the next is tunnel diode. So this tunnel diode is nothing but a PN junction diode, but which is very heavily doped. Okay, so which is a heavily doped PN junction diode in which the electric current decreases as the voltage increases. Understood the point? The electric current decreases as the voltage increases. The tunnel diode electric current is caused by tunneling effect. The tunnel diode is used as a very fast switching device in computers. It is also used in high frequency oscillators and some amplifier circuits. Fine. And this is the symbol of tunnel diode, which you can see here. So here the diode is represented by both P and N type of material, forming a PN junction. It is actually invented by the uh, scientist called Leo Esaki, for which it is also called as Esaki diode. And for this invention, he got the Nobel Prize in 1973. So it is used in the microwave applications because of its fast switching property, and it works on the quantum mechanical tunneling mechanism. So it is operating at a very highest frequency, and it is more stable at room temperature, and the solid state oscillators are based on this resonance tunnel diode frequencies. So all these are constructed with the help of this tunnel diode. Okay, and whenever you are using an different types of microwave components, when you are embedding in a single IC, you use this type of structures where you use metal insulator, metal type of tunnel diodes. There are different types of tunnel diode again in this. Okay, so it is constructed using gallium arsenide, silicon, antimonoid, gallium antimonoid. Because of this heavily doped, its depletion region is very narrow. That is the point to note that. Okay, so especially comparatively, the P type is having a less concentration, and N type will be having a very large concentration. Okay, that means the number of electrons are very high in this entire circuit with respect to this holes, right? So what the tunnel diode are one of the most significant solid state electronic device which have made their uh, good work in the last 2-3 decades for a high frequency microwave applications. Okay, so here you see the depletion region is a region where the electrons and holes are present, but they are not freely available for movement. That is the point to note here. Okay, so the width of this depletion region also depends upon the number of impurities added, that is the P type and the N type, to increase the electrical conductivity. Okay, so if the number of impurities added are less, the depletion region, a wide depletion region is formed. On the other hand, if the large number of impurities are added, the depletion region will be very less. That is the another point to note that. Okay, to form this depletion region. Okay, and here the N type preferably is heavily doped with a large number of impurities, right? And to explain the concept of tunneling, the depletion region or the depletion layer in the PN junction, which will be explained with this diagram you see. So this is nothing but P junction, this is nothing but N junction, say for example, and this is depletion width. Okay, as I told, it has a fixed field around here where the electrons and holes are completely stagnant. It becomes immovable. Okay, at no biased state. Understood the point? At no biased state, that means without any external voltage, it has a certain field such that the electrons and holes are completely immobile, that is not available for movement in this region. Okay, so now when you connect this positive P type with the positive terminal and N type with the negative terminal, what happens in the normal diode I am talking about? Okay, in the normal diode, when you connect this p-type with the positive terminal anode and n-type with the negative terminal cathode, you complete the circuit. What happens? The depletion region becomes very small, or in other words, the electrons which are available in this n-type will be getting a more potential than this barrier potential, or the field which I told you earlier. The field is fixed, for which the electrons and holes are immobile in this region. Okay, so in this case what happens, there are electrons, and only some of the electrons which gets the energy greater than this barrier potential will be able to move from n type to p type to constitute a current. Okay, you see, these are the electrons with energy greater than the barrier potential can able to pass from n type to p type material, and when the movement of electron happens, the flow of current do occurs in the opposite directions. Okay, whereas the electrons with less energy than barrier potential cannot pass over this barrier potential or the depletion width. This is the working principle of ordinary p-n junction diode. But in the tunnel diode, what happens? The depletion region is very small. Note that the depletion region is very small. So in this case, the electrons which have the potential less than the barrier potential, the electron, even though if it doesn't possess the potential greater than the barrier potential, can also be able to penetrate this small narrow region and also able to participate in the flow of currents. Understood? So this is the basic principle of tunnel diode, right? So at this point what happens, the p junction, n junction is made up of a positive ion and the negative ion. Because of these ions, there exists a built-in potential or an electric field in the depletion region. That's what I was repeating once again. The electric field in the depletion region exerts electric force in a direction opposite to that of externally applied voltage. That is the point to note. Okay, another thing we need to remember is that the valence band and the conduction band energy levels in the n-type semiconductors are slightly lower than the valence band and conduction band energy levels in the p-type semiconductors. This difference in energy level is due to the difference in the energy levels of the doping concentrations, the donor and the acceptors, similar to that of p-type and n-type semiconductors, right? So when a forward voltage is applied to an ordinary p-n junction, some of the electrons will not be able to cross, but only the electrons which has a higher potential can able to cross and participate in the flow of current. But in the tunnel, what happens, even though if you apply a small voltage, the electrons with the less barrier potential can also be able to participate in the current formation because of this small depletion width, because of which the valence band and the conduction band energy levels in the n-type semiconductor are lower than the valence band and conduction band energy levels in the p-type semiconductor. That is why this is another reason for the current conduction. And the point which I mentioned, the quantum mechanics tunneling, which says that the electrons will directly penetrate through the depletion layer or barrier if the depletion width is very small. Okay, which is in the term of nanometer, so that the electrons can directly tunnel across the small depletion region from n side to p side, whereas this doesn't have occurs in the normal p-n junction diode. Understood? So this is about the tunnel diode. So now coming to the characteristics of the tunnel diode. So initially, this is characteristics, means this is forward bias voltage and this is forward current, which is in terms of milliamps. So now when you don't apply any external voltage here, when you don't apply any external voltage means, so here when you don't apply any voltage, the current will also be zero, because when no voltage is applied to the diode, it is said to be that tunnel diode is unbiased, and the conduction band of n-type material overlaps with the valence band of p-type materials because of the doping. And because of this overlapping, the conduction band electrons at the n side and the valence band holes at the p side are nearly at the same energy level. Okay, so when the temperature increases, some electrons tunnel from the conduction band, that is must be able to pass through this barrier potential and participate for the flow of current, but still you call it as a the net flow of the current will be zero, because equal number of charge carriers, free electrons and holes flows in the opposite direction. Understood? Because of the thermal effect, number of electrons and holes will also be same, and hence the net current will be zero and the unbiased state. Now, when a small voltage is applied to the tunnel diode, which is less than the built-in voltage of the depletion layer, which is less than the built-in voltage of the depletion layer, no forward current flows through the junction. However, a small amount of electrons in the conduction band of the N region will tunnel to the empty state of the valency band in the P region, which will create a small current in this. This tunnel current starts flowing with the small voltage. Okay, and when the voltage applied to the tunnel diode is slightly increased, a large number of free electrons at n side and the holes at p sides are generated with the increase in voltage, right? And the overlapping of the conduction band is increased, right? And with this, the energy level of the n side conduction band becomes exactly to that of energy level of the p side, and it reaches the saturation point. Okay, so it reaches up to this point A, which is nothing but a P point. You increase the voltage, peak voltage, where the energy level of the N side band becomes exactly equal to the energy level of P side valence band, right? And if you apply the voltage further, slight misalignment of the conduction band and the valence band take place, and because of that misalignment, so the tunneling current starts decreasing. What is that misalignment? Since the condition, since this conduction band of the n-type material and the valence band of the p-type material are still overlapped, the electrons tunnel from the conduction band of n region to the valence band of p region, causes a small current flow. That means it keeps on decreasing, right? And if you still increase the voltage, it reaches to point 0, or the valley point, where the current is minimum. At this point, the conduction band and the valence band no longer overlaps, and the tunnel diode operates in the same manner as PN junction from here onwards. That means from here onwards it is zero tunnel current. Tunnel current is zero, but it has a certain conventional diode current which is maximum during forward bias. That means from point B onwards it is acting as a conventional diode, which works like with the increase in voltage you have a current increasing. Okay, so it is the this area of voltage which is point of interest from A to B, where you get a negative resistance, right? And for which the current decreases as the voltage increase in this region. The negative resistance region is most important and the most widely used characteristics for the tunnel diode. Okay, so it has a many applications which you can use. These are used in a logic memory storage device, and oscillator circuit, high speed switch, and some FM receivers. So these are some of the applications. So other than this, the advantages are like it has long life, and it has very high speed operation, and it has low noise and low power consumption. So disadvantage are cannot be fabricated in mass or large number. Okay. Then what else? Yeah, these are some of the advantage, disadvantage, and applications of this tunnel diode. So any doubt with this tunnel diode? Okay. So then we will move on to the last type of diode what we are looking in this, which are nothing but varactor diode. Okay, so varactor diode, as the name itself indicates, it is nothing but variable capacitor diode, right? So varactor diode is a PN junction diode whose capacitance will be varying with the reverse voltage. Okay, it means you are making this diode to work in a reverse bias so that it acts like a capacitor. Okay, so that is nothing but varactor diode. Before going to this diode, we'll just have a brief look on this capacitor. You know, this capacitor is an electronic component that stores electrical energy or the charge in the form of electric field, and it is made up of two parallel plate conductive plates separated by a certain dielectric. Okay, and this dielectric is a bad conductor for electron movement. These parallel plates are good conductor, right? And on the other hand, what happens, this is some of the information, and when you make it in a closed circuit, when you connect it in a closed circuit with an external voltage, what happens, the electrons, this is nothing but one of the plates, so wherever the electrons be there, here for example there is an electrons, what happens, it will be attracted by the positive and repelled by the negative, so that the negative terminal gives all the negative charges on this plate. Okay, and if I consider this as a layer, because I am supposed to represent this as a p-type material and a n-type material later, Okay, so in a stable, what happens? It will be having an equal number of electrons and protons. Okay, so now when note that, did you understand the point? So this I'm going to represent it as a material p type or the n type material, right? And in the normal state, what happens? The number of electrons and protons are same. And when you make it in a connection, so that all the electrons come and sit over this charge, this plate, negative charge, or the electrons come and sit over this plate. Okay, and now if the number of electrons increases than the protons present in this layer or in this plate, what happens? This becomes negatively charged plate. This becomes negative plate. Understood this point? Similarly, when the number of positive, so obviously when these are all positive, the opposite charge or the holes will be reflected on this plate, accumulated on this plate, and again the And these electrons and holes always try to move from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, whereas in the n region, free electrons are higher concentration, and in the p region, holes are at the higher concentration, electrons are at the lower concentration in the p region. Likewise, the vice versa. Okay, so therefore the free electrons always try to move from n region to p region. Similarly, the holes move from p to n region. So when no voltage is applied, so these free electrons in the n region get repelled to each other, and it forms a repel from each other, and it forms a type of junction where these free electrons reach the PN junction. Only it can reach up till junction. It cannot cross over that junction. That is the normal operation. But the point to note here is you are operating this device in a reverse bias. Okay, reverse bias. So when the negative terminal is connected to the p type, all the holes gets attracted towards this negative terminal, and positive terminal to the n type, all the electrons attracted towards this positive terminal. So as a whole, how does this two parallel plate behaves now is given by the basic expression of the capacitance, which is C is equal to epsilon A by D. Okay, so here the dielectric is constant because it is the material what we are using is fixed. We are not changing anything here afterwards. So because of this reverse bias, what happens when this depletion region increases? Okay, what do you mean by the depletion region increases? The distance between the two plates increases. So when the distance between the two plates increases, what happens to the capacitance? It will increase or decrease. It is inversely proportional. So it will decrease. Understood the point? So if you increase this voltage more, that means you are using a high reverse bias voltage. This is a low reverse bias, but in the high reverse bias voltage, what happens? This depletion region will still increases. When this distance increases, the capacitance will still reduce. Understood? So it is like this how the operating principle of the varactor diode is used in this microwave applications. Right? So to mention about the characteristics of the same, here you see the graph shown a reverse voltage across the capacitance. If the reverse bias voltage is increased, if it is zero, the capacitance is maximum, the depletion width is fixed. When you start increasing the voltage in the reverse direction, what happens? The depletion region keeps on increasing. When the depletion region keeps on increasing, the D keeps on increasing, and when the D keeps on increasing, what happens to the C? It keeps on decreasing. Capacitance decreases when the reverse voltage keeps on increasing. So this is the characteristics of this varactor diode, what you can use it for. Okay. And once you fix this, the capacitance will not be varied, whereas in the variable capacitance you can able to vary to certain capacitance for the desired frequency range. Okay, and some of the application which this varactors are used are it is used in frequency multiplier, parametric, parametric amplifiers and voltage control oscillators. Okay, so that is because in these materials or in these electronic devices the capacitance plays an important role. Okay, and because of this capacitance, what happens, variable capacitance, you have an option to have a control over this frequency multiplier or amplifier or oscillator kind of circuits. Okay, so these are some of the applications which is